babies, I'm back again with this topic of financial journey. I am trying to bring to you my ideas on what I do to save and how I do it. And one of the things that I've done for many a years, no matter what my income was, whether it was working, unemployment, or disability. The one thing that I feel that has helped me most, and please excuse my raggedy paper on this clipboard, I write down a budget. I list everything that I owe out. I owe rent, gas, lights, Perfect Player, which is my cable, Spectrum, which is my phone, internet, Wi-Fi, and my security system. Walmart beauty boxes as far as quarterly, and it's December, so it's about to be quarterly. It's time for them to bill me. And then I'll probably buy me a Target beauty box or two. And there's some other things that I need to buy. I want to buy me another shopping cart. I have one. I have two, but they're both kind of on the raggedy side, so I need to buy another one. Because that's how I get around. And then the rest is Christmas presents and birthday presents and washing my clothes and get a book of stamps. So let me go over this budget with you. My first thing is rent. And I write down how much rent I pay. I pay $425 a month. And it's like this for me. I try to stay ahead when it comes to my rent. I don't know, I've just been blessed like that. Whether I was on welfare, when I went from welfare to working, when I went from working to unemployment, many a times. When I went from unemployment to being disabled and had to go back on the welfare and then go into disability, SST and SSI. Now, when I was on the welfare, I'm not going to lie. Being in the house, all I could afford to do was pay rent. And that was fine. Whatever got cut off, fuck it. I just didn't give a fuck like that. But when I was working or on unemployment, and I still follow this guide with this budget with disability. Now, most people, they get their income when they get it, the 1st, the 3rd, the 24th, the 25th, whenever, whatever, the Tuesdays, the Wednesdays, the Fridays, you know, whatever your income is. I personally don't believe in, say, getting paid on the 1st and paying no rent on the 1st. That's just me. I won't do it. I believe like this, like it's December. And I got my SSI on Friday, and I'll get my SSD tomorrow, Monday. And whatever the total is of those two checks is what I have to pay my bills on. My bills come out different times, but they always wind up being anywhere between the 4th and the 10th of the month, which is great for me. I personally, before I even start spending money, I like to pay my bills off. Do it happen like that? Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. I mean, if it's a month that I'm in dire need and I need to get to the laundromat and I need to get to this and I need to buy some toilet paper or I need to buy some personal hygiene, then I spend the money first. But I personally like to pay my bills first. So as far as rent goes, I took my money out of November's check to pay my December 1st rent. And I can't even tell you how many days you got to pay the landlord before interest is grown on it, because I've always paid my rent the way I'm paying it, so I really don't care. So now they got it where you can pay your rent online, and I guess I should contact them. I don't know. I mean, the idea is nice that I could pay the rent online, and then, yeah, I could wait till the 1st and pay it. But me, I like having a receipt because landlords, you don't find many good landlords nowadays, period. So I like having that receipt. So I'll go to the bank the last week of the month, buy a money order, or should I say, go to the bank, pull my money out, go around the corner for myself, and go to the corner store, buy a $1 money order, and pay my rent. And don't get me wrong, I would love to be able to just go online and pay my rent. Got a computer that's many years old, but it works for me. I got my cell phone. But my fear is not having that receipt. Because I've never been evicted and don't never plan on being evicted. But you never know what situation you might get into in life until that situation comes about. So I would rather have the physical paper, mail order stubs to be able to present to a judge if I have to. So that's why I don't pay it online. But I would save $1 if I did. But I don't know. But anyhow, when I get paid tomorrow, I will have my rent. And that rent will be applied to January 1st's rent. I hold my money to the end of the month because you never know what I might need. And then I'll pay the rent at the end of the month. Last Monday, last Tuesday, depending on when the 1st falls on, I'll go and buy a money order and send them their money order. So by the 1st come, you'll either get it a couple days before or you'll get it on the 1st. Because I can't stand them landlords that you got to see them on the 1st. That shit gets on my nerves. Whatever. Maybe because when I was on welfare, I had to see that. They didn't work unless it was close to the 1st. So I don't even want to be bothered with that. So that's what I do to keep my rent paid. Because, regardless of what needs to be done, these landlords are getting these property management companies and they're managing many apartments and sending out for maintenance and, maintenance from their own people, of course. But they want that rent on time, no matter what's going on. They also want to force you into a lease. I had been here since 2011, and when they bought the house, it was 2016, like at the end, something like that. And you gonna force me to sign a lease, or 2017, excuse me. You gonna force me to, you gonna try any way you can to force me to sign a lease. But I went and consulted a lawyer first, so I wasn't worried about that. He taught me how to maneuver that. Okay, so for my gas bill, no matter where my gas is at, let me put it the right way. When you receive gas to heat your home, they send you a bill. And you have an option. You could just pay something on the bill, pay the bill out if you have it, or put it on the budget plan. I put mine on the budget plan. Now, the budget plan is basically 12 months divided by your bill. Most times. Okay. My budget plan is like that, but I get heat for being disabled. So, it's my bill minus the heat divided by 12, and that's why I figure out how much I owe each month. Now, with my budget plan, it be higher, and that's fine, because my budget plan is higher and then it's lower. My budget plan started in November, and no matter where I live, how many times I move, that's when my budget plan ends. So, in November of 2018, I owed a balance of $67. I could have gave him the budget plan amount, but I just paid him off the $67. Why? Well, first of all, they only was looking for the ending balance. Second of all, I'm not going to give you extra. I used to deal with National Fuel and give them extra when I was working. And when I really needed my gas, you cut it off. I got it back on a couple months later because I was waiting on my disability. But it's the principle. You cut it off where when I was working, I was hitting you. My bill might be 3-4 something a month. And if I had it, I'd give you 600-700 at one time. But, you didn't respect it. So it is what it is. Lesson learned. So now, this month, December, my bill will be out. And depending on my food stamp worker, hopefully my heap will be on it. If my heap is on it, I'll probably give them $50. Because it's Christmas time. I like to have my money. It's Christmas and New Year's. And then, you'll take whatever out. Because I did start using my gas at the end of October. So, okay, whatever. And then come January, when it's cold as hell, and I really don't like to be going anywhere. I barely like to go to the doctor when it's cold as hell. I really hate to, but, we do what we got to do. I'll give them 100. But I said this year, I'm going to give them the budget plan amount. As long as it ain't too high. If it's 118, 125, I'm going to give them that budget plan amount. Because I'll do that January, February, March, April. And in May, my birthday month and Mother's Day, I'm giving you $25. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. Well, no. Last year, that's what I did. The year before, I let them eat up my heat between December and January. And then I had to pay higher amounts February, March, and April. So I said, well, last year I paid them $50 in December. And I gave them $100 each month. So it was like they was only taking $25 off my budget plan. But this year, since I'm older and I'm not planning on doing all that going and all that, I'm going to give them $50 in December. And whatever my budget plan amount billing is, because I keep my gas on hot. I like hell is hot. Hell is hot. For me, it is about a $400 gas bill when the snow is on. So, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them whatever they ask for, 125 or whatever. 125 for 4 months, so that's 500. 500 plus the 4 be 900 from the heat. And then, sometime it ain't going to be nothing. So, they got almost all their money by the time May gets here. And then it'd be May, June. It'd be May, June, July, and August. I'm hoping by May 1st I can cut the heat off. Now, I can't say for sure, but that's what I'm hoping. I'm not saying it's going to be hot as hell out in May, because it takes a while for it to get hot as hell here in Buffalo. But I hope to shut that gas off in May and just have to walk around the house with, layers of clothes or whatever until I can get to the hot as hell point, outside. And that's what it's going to be for me. So, that's the gas bill. The light bill is the same thing. I got that on budget plan too. So for me, every few months, they send me a letter or an email saying, your budget plan amount will be such and such. So, usually, okay, my light bill amount has been $42. That's what it was due in November. So I'm hoping for December to be $42. It might go up a little bit, but who cares? And then you pay that amount, and then as it gets down to May, June, July, it gets lower again. Which, I mean, 42, 50, 55. I care less, because at one time somebody was stealing my electricity. And I was paying $122 a month. So, but I had to investigate it also. So, you just got to learn how to pick what's best for you. Now, my next bill is my Perfect Player, which is an internet service that provides me cable. So instead of getting my cable from the cable company, I get my cable from my app because I have Wi-Fi that I get through the cable company. So I only pay $14 a month for that. So that's cool. I can get all my channels I was getting with cable. I can get all the movie channels. I get about 6,000 channels for $14 a month. So, yeah, that's cool. And if you have Amazon Fire, as I do, I have the box where I can upload both movies, books, and videos and all that stuff, and games. I received that as a gift from Amazon, and that was cool. My son bought it for me for my birthday. I enjoyed it. I love it. I'm still using it. Will not go back to cable as long as I got that, because I could watch YouTube on Amazon Fire. Amazon Fire is loaded with different stuff, and if you got like Netflix and Hulu, you good. So if that's what you want, you gotta have a flat